We got a big announcement coming this week, and it has nothing to do with Jake Paul. Pay attention. It's MVP.
Reports stated Jake Paul's return could shift to December, with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources say that December 12th and 19th are possibilities. Garcia and Terence Crawford were both approached. Michael Bisping weighed in on Jake Paul's rumored opponent switch, pointing out Jake's history of facing older or smaller fighters like Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz.
Or Francis Ngannou. Now listen, we know that Jake Paul has been out there and he's typically taken on people that are way older than him, like Mike Tyson, who's 58, Anderson Silva, who was way past his prime, people like Nate Diaz, who were way smaller. Gervonta Davis really did take the piss. I mean, that was just the craziest shout ever. To go from fighting Gervonta Davis, way smaller, to now fighting boxing Francis Ngannou. I mean, listen, if he does it, fair play. But I just call #1 bullshit on this brother, because I don't see this happening. No.
Meanwhile, Wade Plemons revealed Jake Paul is treating the Davis fight with intense focus, preparing for a tactical war. Plemons also noted Davis's pattern of legal issues, questioning whether the bout will even happen.
Jake takes these fights very seriously, and I just thought, okay, this is gonna get a little more interesting than I previously thought. I thought it would be a bit of a mismatch, a bit of a, boxing experience to Gervonta Davis, Jake bringing the size and power, and we're gonna get one of these stalemates where no one wants to take a real risk, and both guys are gonna get paid. Turns out no guy may get paid, or Gervonta Davis might be kicked off the card because we have a new, not champion, a new domestic violence abuse allegation against Gervonta Davis. There's been a lot of allegations against Tank, and some of those have been dropped, and others have not really been pursued, and you don't really know what's what behind the scenes with people, but when things like this happen over and over, I think this is his 4th or maybe 5th allegation of domestic abuse, you kind of start to have to look at the person that's being accused of such and go, why do you keep ending up in these situations?
However, Eddie Hearn hinted that if the price is right, Anthony Joshua might step in against Jake Paul. He admitted finding a replacement for Tank Davis won't be easy. The fight's too big, and any backup needs serious star power to match it.
I think at this stage, there's not too much to report. If we got the right offer and DAZN were happy, would AJ do it? I would probably think so. Yeah. But nothing major to report as of yet. That might change. It's Saturday. The fight actually was 2 weeks yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah. I'm available to jump in.
You take that on?
If the money was right.
On Venue Bank Fight Week.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, that's a problem.
Choose Connor.
Yeah. No. So I don't know. It's a tough spot for those guys, because obviously it was a big moment. It was a big fight, and you can't just replace Gervonta Davis with someone that's not a big name.
Eddie also revealed Jake's team considered Ryan Garcia and Edgar Berlanga as backups, but doubts Jake would risk Berlanga. Jake strategically picks fights where losing won't hurt him. Dropping a bout to Anthony Joshua earns respect, but losing to Berlanga damages his brand.
Did they reach it? Saying they offered it to Ryan Garcia?
Edgar Berlanga.
Edgar Berlanga, yeah.
And yeah. Active, fairly active.
Yeah, but see, the way I look at it with Jake is, Jake wouldn't fight Edgar Berlanga, because if he got beat by Edgar Berlanga, who's coming off a 3-round knockout loss, he can't. It has to be the story. Yeah. So he fights people when he could get beat. He fights people that if he got beat, people would go, yeah, but he lost 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think he would fight Anthony Joshua, because if he fought Anthony Joshua, everyone would go, I can't believe you've got the balls to get in there with Anthony Joshua. Mm-hmm. And if he got Knox Park out, he'd go, well, I took on Anthony Joshua. And then he'd go back and he'd fight someone else.
Despite the chaos, Showbiz the Adult noted Jake's recent sparring with Shakur Stevenson shows he's still training hard. The fight isn't officially canceled, but the replacement search has begun. Showbiz remained neutral on Davis's case, urging fans to wait for the facts.
And I was just looking at the new photos of Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson sparring and shit, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna cover this, tomorrow. I might as well just talk about it a bit now. What I said earlier today for the Facts Friday, Jake Paul having his Avengers for Thanos. I called it Jake Paul's Knights versus Darth Davis. It's not canceled quite yet, all right? But Jake Paul is looking for a replacement, and that's the latest news. Damn. My take on Gervonta. I don't have much because I wasn't there. I don't know everything that happened, and of course, I'm not going to jump on one side or the other. But I'm going to say this as a general statement.
Meanwhile, Oscar De La Hoya challenged Jake Paul's legitimacy, saying if he wants real respect, he must face young, ranked top 10 contenders. De La Hoya wasn't attacking Jake personally. He acknowledged his passion.
But look, if Jake Paul wants to be a real fighter, then take on real fights. Take on contenders, take on top 10, take on fighters who are young, fighters who are ranked in our boxing system. That's the way you do it, Jake, you know? So I'm not dissing you, I'm not saying anything bad. I respect you because you love boxing, and anybody who loves boxing, I have to respect.
But stressed true credibility comes from fighting real competition. Interestingly, Showbiz, the adult dropped a bombshell. Jake Paul's team reportedly sent an offer to Ryan Garcia as Davis's replacement. With just a small weight gap and a 195-pound limit, this could actually be a professional bout, sending shockwaves through boxing.
I am hearing that Jake Paul and Most Valuable Promotion have sent an offer to Ryan Garcia to replace Gervonta Tank Davis for that fight. And I'm hearing that since the weight difference isn't that much, and the weight limit being that of 195, Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia can be a pro fight. Oh my God.
Jake Paul's fight is in trouble. Tank Davis's legal mess has Netflix panicking and fans wondering who's next. Ryan Garcia, Francis Ngannou, someone else entirely? If Tank pulls out, we could see one of the craziest replacement fights ever. One that either proves Jake's legit or exposes him. Love him or hate him, Jake knows how to make fights people can't ignore. Who should step in if Tank's out? Would you actually watch Jake versus Ryan Garcia? Would fighting Joshua or Ngannou earn him real respect? Let us know below.